while since you saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. So a lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true though, just as long as it's entertaining to you.
Frittata!
Hello guys and gals, Frittata here. Yesterday you guys did the unthinkable. You gave me over 600 subscribers in one day.
That's too much power for one man to have.
At this rate, we're gonna hit 100K and you're gonna get your face reveal way faster than I really want you to. And there was over 1,400 of you in yesterday's stream watching the Summer Game Fest with me, so now I actually have to keep my promise and show up with a modelo on my face reveal. What other stereotypical Hispanic items do you want me to show up on screen with? Actually, don't answer that question. I don't trust any of you. You guys are a very abusive audience. But if you feel free like giving me suggestions, then show up tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time for the Xbox Games Showcase. We will be tuning into that. You don't want to miss it, because we easily have some of the most chaotic, destructive, self-deprecating streams on this entire website that I'm surprised YouTube allows me to keep up.
Banned. Gone. Forever.
Alright, enough of that. The Switch 2 is out, and all the people who were complaining about it for 2 months non-stop, milking the stories, have all gone out to officially purchase one. After all that talk about how pre-ordering is the root of all evil, and how we shouldn't be supporting corporations that take away physical media and lock basic console functionality behind paid subscription services, these guys all went out to purchase one, pretending like they weren't excited, pretending like they didn't want one. And that's the real problem here, okay? Making videos telling people explicitly in the title, you're not buying a Switch 2 and here's why, or making a video telling people, don't buy the Switch 2, you can't proceed with doing so, thinking that everybody else has to obey what you say and you can go against your own word. It gives off this notion that you think you are better than the rest and don't have to follow through with what you say, but everybody else does. Guys, I'm telling you not to pre-order the Switch. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. It will ruin gaming. Anyway, guys, here's my brand new Switch 2. Don't pre-order. Don't pre-order. Don't pre-order. By the way, guys, I got my pre-order locked in. Honestly, this shouldn't be a trivial thing. People purchasing a console should not be a big deal. If people want it, let them buy it. It's only made a trivial thing because the jackasses who were preaching to you about how this device is horrible for gaming and contributes to the downfall all went out and shamelessly purchased one, thinking there was gonna be zero backlash from their audience. They couldn't even, at the very least, purchase one for review and then return it to ensure Nintendo doesn't get money or retailers? No, they kept them. Why? Because they always wanted one. They were lying to you on camera. And it pains me that Mudahar is one of them because, oh god, I put out a video talking about how Mudahar was catching flack from Nintendo guys because he said he wasn't gonna buy a Switch 2. Now he buys one and it makes everything he said leading up to this point feel like complete bullshit. So I can see why people are frustrated with Mudahar. The comments in his video got to him so much the guy actually put out an apology video saying he was sorry, which I think is personally ridiculous, but it goes to show you how much the comments got to him. Because no matter how big you get on this website, no matter how successful you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter how much guaranteed success you will have, every single YouTuber still reads the comments and they still affect those people. Mudahar is not immune to this, because the dude put out a video like he was confessing to some crime. And I really don't think this is like that severe of a mistake. But I can respect his audience holding him accountable. If I had purchased a Switch for myself, secretly wanting one this whole time while lying to you guys, I would hope you hold me accountable. Because you can't dissuade that many people and then proceed to purchase a Switch 2 all for yourself to enjoy.
Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and let's just talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. I made a mistake. I ended up buying that Nintendo Switch 2, even though I said that I was going to hold off. I wasn't just going to go buy it outright. And there I was, going on a midnight release, and I ended up picking it, you know, just on a walk-in.
On midnight of all, you couldn't even go the next day to at least show how much you don't care? You were there midnight. Why? Because you cared, because you wanted one. and I'm not gonna fault you for that, but by God, pretending to not want one and then being there at midnight? Come on, dude.
Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, there's no way to sugarcoat or cut around this. I did, in fact, commit a hypocrisy. I made a mistake. I should have not bought this product. Now, I made a few videos on the Switch 2. Well, not a few, several. And I've basically covered it. I've not been the most positive viewer of it, especially around certain things like those game key cards, and especially about their TOS, when apparently it seems like they can just brick your systems, and more specifically around the fact that maybe the system is in fact a brick when you ended up picking it up. Now, as you all know, yesterday I made a pretty big mistake. I actually made a video with the Switch 2 inside the actual frame. I actually had one on screen. I bought one. I used it to play Cyberpunk 2077 on it.
Is soy food consumption turning men into pussies and making them more likely to adopt left-wing beliefs?
Now, here's the part I don't think is the big deal. If you had a Switch 2 with you on camera to review, but it wasn't yours, I think that would be fine. Hell, even if you bought it with the intention of returning. I don't know if you can do that in Canada, but in America, you can do that quite easily. But you went there midnight to buy a Switch, to own one, to have for a long time because you wanted one the whole time, and you didn't mean what you said in your videos. You weren't there to get one for review purposes. You were there to own the device that you told people not to own. You were acting all based, bumping your chest, and then Soylent brand came into your town and you were buying bottles of it because you liked the way it tasted. Well, I mean, you're saying that like you just can't go and return it because, I mean, if you did that then it would be based, because then you got the device to review it and you gave it right back and got your money and ensured nobody won. Well, that's not what you did. I mean, I don't know how things work in Canada. I don't know if you can do that. But going back and getting a refund for the device, that would make the whole situation understandable. But you're sitting here acting like that can't be the case, and I'm wondering if that is the case. Because if you're making it your job to review one, that is understandable. But to me, it seems like you prioritized owning the device itself, because you were there launch night.
Now, the reason why this was a pretty big mistake, and I do absolutely believe I should actually apologize to my audience, is I didn't practice what I preached, you know? I said, you should vote with your wallet, and what did I do? I straight up charged my card and got the Switch 2. And for that, it's actually a pretty big apology. Like, there's no way to really say anything. There's no really any way to sugarcoat it. It's an actual mistake. You know, you can sit and blame other people, but ultimately, you know, I think the community kind of made it known that I would be one of those gamers that would fall into FOMO.
And to all those affected, I want to say, we are deeply sorry.
No, I don't think you fell into FOMO. I mean, I think this was always your intention. I think you always wanted to own one of these.
And even though that I don't personally think that I'm the reason that video games have just gotten more expensive, ultimately, the actions that I did do contribute to the fact that video games would have gotten more expensive, or at least the aspect of it would become more normalized.
Well, I don't know. You told me that's entirely up to you. Why don't you just go return it and ensure you don't contribute to that? Could you imagine Nintendo's panic if there was a mass refund of these devices? It would be hilarious. Keeping the device shows Nintendo that you are satisfied with it. Again, unless I'm wrong, and there is no 30-day return policy with your device in Canada.
And ultimately, there's really no other way to, you know, just apologize and say that I'll do better moving forward, you know?
Wrong! Again! You could just go return the device. That would make the biggest difference in the world. Either you're choosing not to or you're unable to. But if you're unable to, it's because you knew you couldn't return it once you got it, which would be you feeding into what Nintendo wants. Damn, there really is no W for Mudahar. I kind of feel bad for him on this one, but he asked for it.
And to be fair, the biggest sigh of relief for me is to sit over here and apologize for purchasing a video game system, right? There's a lot of things that a YouTuber can do that would be very illegal, very wrong, ethically, not even just legally, that I could sit down here and apologize for. And that is the only thing that I've really thanked God today for not doing. You know, I could apologize for far more worse, but, you know, realistically, it's just apologizing for purchasing the system that, you know, I kind of made a big hullabaloo about, right?
Well, That's definitely not the way I would have worded it. I see your point. Although I would say that you're kind of trying to undermine you not sticking to your word by comparing it to worse things. Yes, of course, a crypto scammer looks better by comparison next to somebody who burglarized a house. But obviously, with the way you are drawing that comparison of different types of evil, it's definitely because you feel like you are one of those people with the way your audience is reacting. Telling people, there's worse things you could be hating me for doesn't really make it better. I don't even know why you would try to do that. Of all the things in the world to apologize for, this feels like the biggest non-issue, admittedly, but it does take away from your credibility. It makes your audience go, what's the point in ever listening to this guy again about corporate greed or corruption if he's just going to feed into the same problems? And it's only a problem because you're deciding to keep it for yourself instead of taking it back. You're making it seem like you're sacrificing for a greater cause. Like, hey, I got this thing to review it for you guys. Okay, cool, return it. I kind of want to keep it. Well, you could always bust out the good old ukulele and sing us a song about how sorry you are for buying the Switch 2, but that meme would be too good, and you're simply too lazy for it.
And obviously, gaming boycotts are something that unfortunately traditionally do not work, just because people end up buying them, and in this case, I was one of those people. Now, I do want to kind of defend myself a little bit and just kind of talk about this, because I don't want to just say that, I don't want to just say sorry. I do want to give an explanation. Obviously, that night I was coming home, bought a Switch, and one of the reasons I wanted to buy the Switch is to kind of look at that brick capability. I wanted to see if you can fire the system up, you can make a local account, you can connect without, utilizing it.
I knew he was going to use this excuse. I knew it. And you know what? I'd be okay with that if you returned it. If you really got this because you couldn't get a review copy and you want to review it, then return it. That would honestly solidify your credibility, to me, personally. But you're either choosing it for a tax write-off or because you want it. Be real with us, Mudahar. You didn't mean what you said in your videos. You like the Switch 2, you want it in your hands, you want it in your room, you want it for future videos. Eventually, you'll want it in yourself, via Joy-Con. Just don't let that thing get all covered and smeared in curry like your Steam Deck is, okay? Once you get those Indian spices on, that shit is hard to get off. Trust me, I would know because I used to clean places where Indians, Asians, Mexicans, and white people lived. And I'll tell you one thing, Indian spices just leave stains everywhere. That shit's hard to get off. You guys got some of the strongest stomachs on the planet.
But for me, I'm still not somebody that is in line to be, I guess, known as a hypocrite in this regard. And for that, I do apologize. I've done something wrong, which is purchasing the device after the hullabaloo that I've raised. And for that, all I can do is honestly just apologize. Really, that's all I can do.
Man, I really don't want to repeat myself, but I mean, if you mean that, then just return it and you won't contribute to anything. If anything, you'll just contribute to showing Nintendo that you bought it, you didn't like it, and you returned it and send the message. That would mean more than keeping it, because you're gonna buy games on it, you're gonna sub to the service, and you're gonna feed into their ecosystem. This really isn't that complicated, but if you choose not to return it, that's going to say more about your credibility than anything, even purchasing it. Let's just go take a look at RGT85, for example. Yeah, the guy reported on so much negative Nintendo news, but never once did he say don't buy it. Never once did he say he didn't want one and wasn't going to get one. I mean, his audience reacted by saying baby finally got his bottle, which is a fair representation of that. Because RGT85, he's shameless. He doesn't mean anything he says. He wants clicks. He's clocking in, clocking off to go watch a very uneventful Knicks game. When it comes to Mudahar, we actually believe you care about what you're saying. We believe you are passionate about these rants and these subjects, and now it feels like none of that is true. And that takes away from your aura, as the kids would say. You're breaking my heart, Mudahar. I mean, really, realistically, this is like the biggest non-issue in the world? But going forward, I don't really know if I really want to take your word on anything you say about what's bad for consumers and what shouldn't be supported. It makes everybody question, how much does he actually mean it? Because with how interested and passionate you seem in your videos about the subjects, people expect your actions to match that, and in this case, they didn't. You folded faster than Elon Musk folded on Trump. I highly encourage everyone to go check out the comment section on this video and his Switch 2 review, because it's pure entertainment, and I feel like I would be doing a disservice to you if I just splashed those on screen. What the hell. Here's a few. The lack of ukuleles is profoundly upsetting. And that right there is my inspiration. Thank you, YouTube comments. If it wasn't for you, I don't think I could come up with a single meme on my own. Post Nintendo clarity. You know Mudahar must love these comments behind the scenes. I mean, come on, dude. As penance, you must use Windows for all of your systems for the entire year. Oh no! No! That would do more harm to Mudahar than his Indian spices. Turns out, he really is some ordinary gamer. Oh, no! Oh no! No one is more brutal than the comment section. Folded under zero pressure. Oh! I love you guys. Can you guys become my new subscribers? I need an audience that doesn't just make fun of me for being Mexican. Or does Mudahar's audience do that to him for being Indian? On second thought, never mind. The sorry situation is crazy. I can already see Moist Critical coming out and going, "Oh, bros, some ordinary gamers is catching a lot of flack for buying the Switch 2. It's crazy. This is hitting me harder than the planes hit the Twin Towers." Alright. That's enough comments for me. If I keep reading these, I'm going to laugh myself into a coma. And do you really want that? I mean, if you do, give me 500 subs, and then I'll laugh myself into a coma. Hospital bills on you. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to. Thank you so much for all the lovely support this channel is getting. I don't know how to handle it, and the content will reflect that. And with that being said, I'll see you next video.
Fritongo sucks ass.